I still have a dream.
Yeah.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
The turbulence in the transformation of America in the 60s were paramount in the design and the opportunities for especially African Americans that led to the opportunity for a number of underrepresented populations to go to college. It created the opportunity for those that were in those colleges to have Black centers, Latino centers, Native American centers, women's centers. All of those centers started to pop up and started to evolve on college campuses across America.
Courtney was that initiating student who actually was one of the Associated Students president, and she's the one who identified the need within our campus that unlike a lot of the other CSUs within California who had cultural centers, Chico did not.
There was a need for us to try to create something on campus that really focused on providing not only space but infrastructure to support students of color. And the idea was that if you have different cultural representation in the center that were in leadership positions, two things happened. They would create really innovative programs representing the cultural identity group that they were a part of, but they also would share and be inclusive and bringing others to the table that no matter who you were, you would feel like you can be a part of that program.
A lot of students come in the center. One, they find a place where they're able to connect culturally, where they feel like they can be their true authentic self. Also that space where you just need support and comfort and to feel valued, and that's the CCLC.
The majority of the students that use our space are first generation low income students who feel out of place. They feel like they don't really have any other spaces because a lot of the spaces are filled with people who don't look like them.
So I didn't really know anyone going up to Chico, and you know, even though my roommates were cool, like I didn't really know how to connect with them either, you know. I saw the CCLC table and I was met with an employee. Her name was Michelle Valencia. She was the one that really, you know, helped me get connected with the center, you know, so I give her a lot of credit just because I was getting to know people, you know. I was getting to know these cool people that, you know, like I never thought I'd meet before.
This is your home away from home. We're gonna challenge you to think differently. We're gonna challenge you to use the resources to succeed. And we're gonna challenge you to go from how do I just survive in college to how do I thrive in college.
I was part of the Empower program that they did where the 3 different communities of color, the API, the Black community, and the Latinx community. And so I was able to work with their API paraprofessional to bring more awareness about the API community and also create API events.
Definitely people from my community, the Latinx community. You know, I was able to connect from a lot of people there, but you know, a lot of people from different, you know, communities of color as well. I was able to, you know, make friends and kind of, you know, through a lot of the events and a lot of the programs they had there, they kind of projected their voices and, you know, uplifted their voices. And through that, I was really able to kind of have an insight to what the experiences of other people, aside from, you know, being a Latinx person of color.
We have our cultural retreats. We have our Latinx, our API, and our African American Black Summit.
It's about empowerment. It's about, you know, building relationships with people.
It's about creating connection. It's about creating community. It's creating a sense of purpose, a place of belonging.
And we are the space that has the conversations that are sometimes avoided or shy away in the classroom. Every week there was something coming up on the news about another Black life that had been killed due to police brutality.
Well, the Trayvon Martin, there were no witnesses. And then the Eric Gardner incident was, well, there's no excuse because there was witnesses. With everything that happened in Florida, everything that happened in Oakland, everything that happened all around the world.
And then we had the election that was going on when Donald Trump was elected. So a lot of the students were expressing, you know, this fear.
In the climate that we're at now, there's permission to hate out loud. It brings back the environment that we used to be in, the old America. And I think the difficult part is when people are given permission to hate out loud, it becomes a space that's toxic. And when the environment is toxic, it takes away hope. It takes away positivity. It takes away all the things that really help us thrive. The critical thing to the CCLC in today's society is honestly providing light in a time where it is completely dark. And that's really how the world changes. It's one person at a time, one influence at a time, and it's one experience at a time. And our hope is to continue to provide that.
And when you think about that, symbolizing that balance between love and support and challenge and community and, hey, everyone's welcome at the table, that's the center.
We will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.